Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the GameStar Spring Season or Off-Season competitive scene that we're doing here today. This is week 2, and I'm Night Geo, and I'm casting alongside Youwish. And Youwish, we just came from a game 1 of a best of 3 between eGirl Slayerz as well as White Girl Wasted. That was a kind of an interesting match, kind of neck and neck a little bit at first, but then we saw eGirl Slayerz slowly take over, I guess, monopolize the map, and then eventually just the pressure that they gave was just too strong.
Yeah, and their team fighting was really, really strong. They had that lockdown that we were talking about in the draft. We've seen, the abilities of someone like Luke on that Maiev, Raven on that Haka, he played it beautifully. His drags were just completely on spot, didn't use them in bad situations, and just monopolized on that. And as you slowly bleed kills and deaths away, then you're just going to monopolize. Like, they started invading those camps. They got that boss at 15, like we saw, and that just opened to then that bottom, that keep, and then that amazing team fight to win it in mid.
Yeah, that great fight. It was, it was a play. I feel out of desperation by White Girl to at least catch out a very lone Trashly on that decade. It made sense. The call was there, but they were unable to capitalize on it quickly enough. Heal immediately drops. Then Spazzo, a bit too deep. The follow-up CC, the follow-up, I guess, counter-initiation by eGirl Slayerz was just so potent, so dangerous. They got onto the right targets, did the right damage, had the right sustain as well. Were able to just overpower them. And then, again, we saw what happened. Got the 5-man team wipe, eventually pushed down the bottom, secured the game, taking out the core. Well, that's game 1. We're heading off to game 2 now, and this map is Infernal Shrines. Much larger map, still 3 lanes, still objective-focused. But are we going to see anything different now coming towards the bans?
Potentially. Do you not ban the Orphea this time and we ban the Maiev? It's something I would definitely think about if I was White Girl Wasted. We know, I think both of us casting quite a bit of open division last season, that Luke's Maiev got banned quite a lot after week 1. Teams realised how strong he was on those sorts of heroes, so I wouldn't mind seeing that thing. And that's what they've gone. They've opted for that. There's still gives in the room. They can ban the Orphea if they want. They can ban the Morganis if eGirl Slayerz don't ban that. So I think that's a good adaptation which you can do in these best of 3.
Granted, that is true, and Maiev is a very strong pick. We saw Luke in open division. We saw Luke in this match already, showing such a great mastery of the hero. Now, again, White Girl Wasted have first pick. We saw in the previous match that eGirl Slayerz were fine not banning away the Genji. And White Girl Wasted first pick Genji, but to what avail? Is it going to be something where, again, they haven't banned it. They banned Kalthazard for the second time. But Genji maybe might not be banned by eGirl Slayerz, but can White Girl Wasted play him up? Like in the first game, it was a bit interesting play, really.
Yeah, well, it leaves the decision. Do they ban the Genji? Do they ban the Orphea? It's interesting seeing White Girl Wasted banning this Kel'Thuzad again. So there's obviously something that we don't know that they definitely don't want to see. And eGirl says, going with that Orphea ban. So deciding to not go down that route, and White Girl Wasted going different. They're going the Gara, so maybe not willing to go straight into the Genji again. But then that leaves it up for eGirl Slayerz. And it's the state of the game at the moment. It's good. It puts the game in a good position. We can ban these heroes. It's still going to leave these high impact, flashier heroes are still going to be up because you've only got 3 bans on each side. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Jaina being secured up by eGirl Slayerz. They're also going to get themselves a white main. Still strong backline. I feel like they want to bait out that Genji pick, but Decade Kane and White Main, 2 interesting. Tyrande still available as a pick if anything works out with Garrosh. Once you get the AoE taunt that he picks up, very great for shrine control, and that's main game. But instead, they're looking at a Zeratul and a Kael'thas. Hello there.
Oh, that's different. I suppose, if you're the Jaina, then you've got to be worried about that Zeratul and the Kael'thas. That's going to be good. Mages have good clear on the shrines, which, that is the objective. We want to see picks going for that. So that Kael'thas will do a good job on that. That's the Zeratul very, very high. Like, we see Zeratul quite a bit like, here and there in the professional scene, both here and abroad. But maybe not quite so far up. That gives a lot of time for eGirl Slayers to come up with the counter. Even something like a Hanzo with his sight. I mean, it's not a terrible pick on Shrines. I wouldn't mind seeing that. So maybe a ban on Hanzo Waka Western. Are they going to go the Diablo ban? I don't know. What do you think? They're going to counter that Zeratul. What do you think? What would you go?
I think honestly, it comes down to, I think if he does jump on you, you got to somehow lock him up and blow him up before he gets away. He's not that high health of a hero, really, and he's a melee. He still has to jump in, still has to get in. Yrel, that makes sense. You get the knockback. Muradin has the peel potential. He's able to get the Stormbolt off, get the stun off. That works. But I would like if more CC comes out, just to deny Zeratul. Who knows? Maybe if you want to go complete 180, just go Junkrat. Knock him away, have that range damage, just spam your bombs to kind of scope out the area. That works too, really. And Junkrat is kind of dangerous on Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually listening to a Heroes podcast today, and they were talking about what do you do when it comes to countering in your draft. And sometimes if you actually just base your draft onto simply countering something, it can really work in the opposite direction. So maybe it's best you just go with the strategy that you were going with. Obviously, you're going to have to deal with whatever's on the side, and this time it's the Zeratul with an Ana as well. They've certainly gone an interesting draft for us. So maybe, they're just going to play their game. I mean, like you said, that Yrel and that Muradin, that's a very solid front line. So, yeah, they're going to have a lot of control over those points. Again, I think with eGirl Slayers, with that front line, they're going to be able to have that control. That's going to be scary.
They have the, I guess, Disrupt with Yrel. They have Muradin with the stun. Do they, or can they compete with Spazzo on that Garrosh is the question, really. He's quite dangerous in the front line. He's able to be that brute force, that leading charge of a hero. If he's able to get a great taunt off, even get the great disruption himself, it can be quite dangerous. An easy pick. And Ana, it's interesting. I see Ana works well with nano boosted something like Li Ming. Could we see maybe a nano boosted Zeratul? That would be dangerous, I think. Very dangerous, actually.
That could be with Flight of the Narazim. Is that his? Is that his 10? That's the opposite to Void Prison, I think. That lets he can go all over the place. That could be quite insane. That I can safely say I don't think I've ever seen that before. So we shall have to leave it up to the wonders that have White Girl Wasted to see what delights they can come up for us in this upcoming game.
Well, we are heading in towards game number 2 of this best of 3. It is on Infernal Shrines, and without further ado, let's introduce the teams. On the blue side, we have ourselves eGirl Slayer. We've got Stump God on the white main, Trashley on Jaina, Raven on the Yrel, Luke will be playing Reyna, and Matt back on the Muradin. You wish, who's on the red side tonight?
So Wasted, we've got Krazo on that Tychus, Pat on the Kalthas, Spazzo on that Garrosh Hill, on Zeratul, and Yo on that Ana.
And Yola will be on that Ana. Big fight. A lot of CC for both sides. The slows, you've got the sleeps as well. Ana can be quite dangerous. But already picks up a sleep. On towards Matt. Spazza flips him, there it is, but he can simply leap a while himself instead. But Raven wants to get a bit of an action. Spazza gets knocked back in towards his team. Way below half health, and so is Krazo as well. On that Tychus. They have the damage, they have 3 damage deals really, but can Spazza be tanky enough to deal with the likes of a Jaina Burst and also a Reyna Shred? It's up to him, he's pushing up forward, looking to get something, but Yuish, already the burst kind of damage from eGirl is strong. And I think we've lost ourselves a Yuish. It's a shame, but you know how it is. ANZ internet, there we go. We'll be back with us shortly. It's going to be the Nigeria hour tonight. It's going to be seeing I try to keep it not boring. Make it a bit fun. Why not? A little bit of spaz, a little bit of jazz. So, let's get into it. Both teams rotating around. I feel like focus on what these campers they're doing. They want to apply the pressure, but I'm seeing both teams rotating that. What I'm interested really, being a off lane myself, is this top lane. I mean, Raven has sustained, Hill has the clear. I'm ready to pressure flying on towards and getting the minions up towards those walls. It'll be great back and forth. I feel like Hill can still handle it and get themselves those clears, and that's the important thing. But it comes down to what his teammates do. Can I get the rotation? Can I get the damage? They're looking to pick up anything really. Trying to soak up the person and get high levels. If they can get level 10, they can do quite wonders of damage really. I wonder if Chaos wants to go Pyroblast. That would be nice. Who would he target? Could potentially blow up the white man if he gets really lucky. But Luke, now in a word of hurt, he's going to get dropped. He's going to get blown up. Matt gets flipped as well. We're dropping him down to 4.5 but here's a Stumpy. Gonna heal him up if anything does happen. And Spazzo gonna walk away with a little lashes to the face. It's alright. It's 50 lashes later on by James Squire for his hard work securing those kills. Little lashes there ain't nothing tonight. But we have the shrine activating. It's coming up in 20 seconds. Bottom Mercap is still up and alive. 3 members of eGirl Slayerz are lingering around here, so they might do something if they want to at least get a quick kill, get the quick pick up on that Mercap, apply that bottom lane pressure. There is no global in the side of White Girl Wasted, and that's something to point out. So, and guess what they're doing? I swear I'm psychic. Who knew? Maybe they're listening to me. This is crazy. But with that being said, they give up positional advantage, and if we saw anything last week, positional advantage is key. Especially on Battlefield of Eternity, but in Infernal Shrines, it could allow teams to do as much of those little creeps as possible. And they're already down to 7. Do have the Mercamp pushing for them to apply pressure, but they are able to rotate even quickly. Spazzo, unfortunately, is out of position, and they're going to be walking away, giving it up as we get a pause. Oh, this is nice. Get a little lag, but with the pause happens, we get ourselves a new member. Welcome back, you wish. You left me there, but I'm happy you're here.
Am I here? Is it working now? Can you hear me?
I think I can. Houston, we don't have a problem anymore. You wish is back.
We'll see how we go. I love computers when they don't work. This is what I get for not casting for months. Nothing's working on my computer, and it's been a real pain in the butt.
You mean blame ANZ for this? Well, you're not really missing out much. In fact, you're missing out kind of a team fight that's happening as Spazzo gets the flip on towards Matt Luke down below half health, but it's going to be Tigers being picked up by Raven. And that's 1 member down for White Girl Wasted and eGirl Slayerz to regain positional advantage as White Girl Wasted decide to get the another pause off, which is alright. I mean, got to fix up some bugs. You're not the only one suffering tonight, you wish.
Yeah, maybe it's just like you said, ANZ internet. Well, obviously we're having troubles everywhere, but yeah, you're doing a fantastic job. I could still hear you doing that solo cast. You're doing a good job, and yeah, this game. I mean, we've got 1 kill each now, so it's just a good time. Getting that kill onto that Tychus now. It's a good time for that kill. Coming in, you're gonna get this shrine probably. At least maybe not get it entirely, but definitely look at getting a fair chunk of those little skeletons before White Girl Wasted can come back and contest.
Anything they are needing to at least, if they're going to forsake this first objective, really, they need to get soaking up somewhere else. This is not the map or patch or the changes where if you get towers, you don't get experience. It's still possible here. You can still split push. And I think that is what White Girl Wasted decided to do. Heals rotate towards the mid lane. You've got Pat heading down towards the bottom lane, where the rest of the cavalry are going to deal with the top lane, at least get some experience there to get them to level 7 talent, try to get to level 10 talent to advantage. But can they hold off the Mortar Punisher is the question.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Mortar Punisher, so it's certainly not as dangerous as maybe something like the Arcane Punisher, but, the Punisher is the Punisher. It can still do work. They don't want to leave it alone. Stumpgo getting caught out like that, though, that's going to almost negate what they're going to be able to do with this push.
Well, that's the support down, so there's no sustain. Got to be careful there. They can bait this over if they want to walk away. So looking to try and do that, they do and succeed in it as well. So they're going to try and secure that quick Punisher for themselves. Likewise, on the opposite side of the map, Hill and Raven going back in that little 1v1 match. Hill lower on the health, but he's able to back away, tap up, re-engage if he wants to, but that's going to be it, and all she wrote. As the rest of eGirl Slayerz rotating around, again monopolizing themselves with those merc camps taking the siege. But didn't work out to try and secure that little fountain up there. And another pause with another resume. Oh gosh, the internet today, it feels sorry for the White Girl Wasted team.
Yeah, it's certainly not helping there, you know, the momentum and things like that. When you're trying to worry about what your computer's doing, if it's lagging out or having problems, doesn't remove your mindset, which is not what you want when you're a game down in a series. You want to come into this, have a clear game, have a good game, a clear head rather. And yeah, ANZ, you know, the internet's doing their best. But like I said, with losing Stump God, losing that white main, it was really went in White Girl's Wasted's favour. They got a fantastic getting that kill. They got a little bit of damage onto that gate. You know, the Punisher jumped over, did a couple of hits on that fort, but other than that, they didn't get any value. So, you know, they've recovered well, and they're just a fraction ahead of inexperience now as well.
If anything, we've got to also note the fact that White Girl Wasted, comparison to the previous game, at the 5-minute and 45-second mark, eGirl Slayerz had 6 kills to the 1 of White Girl Wasted. Now it's 1-2 and it's 6 minutes and 23 seconds, and it's White Girl Wasted in the, albeit slight, EXP lead. And that's a big change, especially when you do drop game 1. And speaking of mindsets, having these internet issues, whatever it is, they're still holding off well, and that's something to see for themselves.
Yeah, most definitely. They're holding in. You know, both teams are going to get 10 at the same time, and that's good. That's what you want to see in a competitive game. Yeah, both teams stay even, especially early game. Yeah, it might blow out a little bit later on when it gets a bit spicier. But it's good. It's nice to see these teams, you know, equaling up to each other and putting on a good show for us.
Unfortunately, Hill did decide to go for Void Prison, but can he keep his team inside? Package jumped on, is able to drop the Phoenix, but he falls Spazzo. Getting the stun on that, but Spazzo is indomitably walking away. He does with a great Void Prison, saving his life. So that's going to be a 1-for-0 exchange, but with a great advantage that eGirl Slayerz have, they are working themselves as bottom forward and should secure it straight away.
Yeah, Garrosh Armor getting max value from that fight, getting away. That Jaina had a sight set on him. Ashley had his sights, but just couldn't quite pull it off. He got away, so did well. Like you said, they're going to get this fort though. And just as we were saying about it staying even, things like that, you get a kill here and there, and you start just only pulling away. They've got that fort, which means White Girl Wasted doesn't have that well to fall back to in contest. Start again. When we're contesting for this shrine, which is about to activate.
It is going to be a bottom one. It's up and ready. It's the Frost Punisher though, not the arcane one that we all love and hate at the same time. Spazzo getting the flip on Matt. They're dropping him a little bit of damage there, but it's still not enough to deter him away or scare him off or even anything. Give themselves the advantage, but they're looking to get the fight. eGirl is lingering around, and here comes Hill. Gets to jump on Luke. It's knocked around. He's down the house, but Pat is so damn low. Gets popular with a great double taunt by Spazzo. Matt and Raven are locked up. They're still fighting somehow. There we go with the Ardent Defender. She's going in. Raven securing a kill, and it's going to be Tychus falling. Crashing to get into burst damage on towards that water elemental. And it's going to be 1-for-0, 18 seconds left. And eGirl Slayerz slaying themselves another White Girl Wasted.
Well, just seeing, I'm really excited for the future of ANZ Hots. The team fights that we're seeing are really good. You know, that they could have gone either way. Tychus, you know, pulled out his heroic. Oh, I'm doing terrible tonight. It's been so long. I'm forgetting
Odin.
Everything. That's
right.
it. The Odin. How did I forget an Odin? Anyway, and doing a fantastic job. But then again on that Jaina, pushing really far, putting that pressure on that back line, and doing a fantastic job, making White Girl Wasted have to back up, and then in response, then that kill. So they did a fantastic job. They got this Punisher again. They didn't lose their healer now, so maybe they can with a bit.
And they are applying pressure in this bottom key, looking to again have that kind of advantage they had in the previous game. Punisher has lost its aggro, now focusing back towards the wall. Gets 2 turrets, that's the wall down, the root is done, everyone's locked up. CC Heaven is what they want, but the great Phoenix from Pat able to scare them away as they focus back on securing this Punisher and keeping their keep alive. That's important.
Yeah, fantastic defense. Like I said, Phoenix was really good. Just zoned out just enough so that eGirl Slayerz couldn't really continue that to let the Punisher finish off and do its own thing. Needless to say, the Yrel up in the top lane the entire time, soaking that experience. She's gone down to the mid lane. You know, doing a fantastic job. You know, a level and a half, almost 2 level lead now, which means they'll be pushing around 16. Yeah. Waco wasted, they're about to hit 13, so they've got a little bit of time before they lose that disadvantage with that talent, so maybe they can make something happen before they get to 16.
If you were in this kind of map, granted we're not in part of professional teams or anything, but we're just tier league dudes and whatnot. But in this kind of position, we're going to get a pick up on that. They're unable to get that. Phoenix gets popped up. That's a 60-second cooldown just blown up. If anything, if they want to get another fight, this is probably eGirl Slayer's chance now with that big heroic down. They'll be back up shortly as well anyway. So it's kind of a win, kind of a loss too. But in this situation, you wish, what would you do? Where would you look to regain your kind of losses? Would you look for camps? Would you look for split pushing? What is your mindset? What's your game plan here in these moments?
I mean, if you're going to want to push a fight, you're going to want to push it now. My concern would be what Waco Waste is thinking. If they don't push this fight before 16, which is what they're going to do, getting that beautiful Tron to stump God.
It
feels like I'm holding my breath at the moment, and that's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to push and get that fight. You know, they're getting close to 16, but probably not have 16, maybe, unless they can push this fort down. That's going to get them a nice chunk of experience, like we said earlier. Not for in a couple of weeks, that might change, but that's what they needed to do. You know, get that thing that didn't really want to lose Anna though.
That is going to be painful, but I lose Ana. Spazza is now going to be the next target. Luke is going to try to secure that. Instead, it's Raven. And that's a support. That's a tank. You know what? How about a ranged assassin to boot? It's a little nice trifecta for themselves. That's going to be 3 minutes down. Well, Waco wasted as the middle fort is being threatened. Just as a shrine is spawning. And guess what? Is that in... Is it Arcane? I don't know. I think it will be the Arcane Punisher. Oh, that's not looking good.
No, so I said if I try to talk about it a little bit last game. I'm not sure how much you guys heard me because my computer's a piece of crap. But the advantage we see a lot of things doing with this fight. Now, guys had definitely at the advantage. They engaged as soon as they 16. They turned around. They knew they had those talents, such strong talents at 16, and they engaged and just caught. Waiko wasted off just a little bit. They were maybe a little bit deep. They, you know, were just coming back from trying to push that fort down, which they didn't unfortunately get in the mid. And you know, a couple of kills, or 3 kills, triple kill, and it was fantastic timing for them coming into this. Even like I said, Waiko don't have 16 now. They can't really contest this shrine, and it's a 3rd Punisher in a row that they're going to have to defend.
And not only do they have that, Raven secures the bottom siege camp as well. It's going to apply a little pressure, or a little stagnating pressure down in the bottom lane, as they have to deal with none other than the Arcane Punisher. One that's so dangerous, especially in the 13-minute mark. This could be quite crucial. They could potentially do a lot of damage towards this keep, if not done well, as the middle fort has been dropped.
Yeah, it's good that Waiko Waste has up that talent level down now. So they're 2 levels down, but their defense is going to be important. Yeah, they make a bit of a mistake. eGirl Slayerz can get someone caught out, then you're definitely going to be looking at a keep. But you know, again, using that Phoenix really well. It's the 2nd time we've seen them do that. Put that behind the Punisher. Once the Punisher's jumped in, Punisher zones out eGirl Slayerz, and they can't really aggress in. And you know, they've defended the keep. They've done a fantastic job.
Oh, Hill walks away. Never mind. Hill is safe. They are able to keep that keep, like you said. That's good. Great defense coming out from Michael Wasted. Heal's lingering around behind them, trying to get any pick or even maybe avoid prison to set up something. Talents are even, and now we're going towards, I guess, a fight before the 20. Spazzo, oh, he senses it Trashly. They're able to walk away, dodging the ice lance. It's up the man instead, but he's rooted, stuck in place, forced to be indomitable. Walks away though, but that's a bit of chunk of damage. Matt also a bit low. Raven. Everyone's thinking around, and in the backline, Heel looking to get another pick off falls. And that's a little assassin down as the rest of eGirl Slayers are rotating, looking for something. Raven finds Pat. Raven finds Krazo. He's not able to get the stun. Instead, Matt is trying to deal with the spasm in the backline. YOLO gets stuck, gets stunned, gets dropped. That's a support down. Talking about the tank is also fallen. That's 3 for nothing. As eGirl Slayers looking monstrous, if you wish.
Yeah, that was really done well. I was concerned. Hill, you know, he was in that back line there. He knew that they were catching that camp, and he really wanted to get that Jane. I think it was the Jane that was on the camp trying to catch her out. But the problem was that is his team was also trying to fight the front line of eGirl Slayers as well, so they didn't have that support. And then in the end, he gets caught out. All eGirl Slayers had to do was turn around, and all of a sudden the Zeratul is in the middle of the other team, and it was easy for them to get that pick off. And then when you're that, it's just a bit of a snowball effect. And now we're looking at 2 keeps going down. It's real punch that, you know, eGirl Slayers did a fantastic job of punishing that mistake, and another 2 kills we'd probably look at the game right now.
Well, it's what's going to happen. They have the siege camp pushing towards that core. It's already losing his shield. There's a spawn on towards Matt, but can he survive? He's just taking so much damage. Shield's down. They're damaging the core. Odin has been popped as well. As eGirl Slayers are looking to take this game into the 17-minute, but they lose White Mage. That's 1 member. 30%. 25%. Members are so low. They're trying, but can they defend? No, they're going to lose the game, and it's going to be eGirl Slayers securing this as a 2-win in its best of 3. A well thought up map. White Girl Wasted definitely put up a fight this one, but unfortunately fell short and just did not able to pick up a game. But still well fought battle nonetheless.
Yeah, I think what we can take away from both of those games is this one was a lot closer coming into 10. They both got 10 at the same time, whereas first game, eGirl Slayers had a little bit of advantage. But post 10, their coordination, their heroics, and their teamwork, they just worked really well. They got those picks, those team fights, they really well, and it just ballooned, and they just keep pushing that advantage. Right at the end, you know, there was a little bit of a questionable strategy maybe from Hill trying to catch that backline out, which unfortunately then that what basically snowballed into what was the end of the game. But well played by eGirl Slayers.
Yeah, the rotations, the plays, the shot calling, and the focusing was just upper class. Well, that's going to be the first best of 3 map, and eGirl Slayers do move up to take on Nobody in the next best of 3. But we're going to take a break before we bring in another best of 3, as we're going to do Rinse and Delete taking on multiple units, and that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we're excited. You know, it was a 2-0, but I think we've got more fiery, spicy series to come in front of us. I'm looking forward to it.
We will see you soon.